first met my husband, we had a dog named Princess. She chewed up everything, from his shoes to his sunglasses. She always ran away, and she even bit my child. That's not to say that all dogs are bad or that a certain breed of dog is necessarily bad. It was her nature, and she hadn't had the right training. Something you should consider, I'm going to go over some things you should consider before getting any type of dog. First of all, this man and his dog look very happy together. I think most people would agree that this dog and this man have a good relationship. And it's probably because the man did a lot of research before he chose that dog. I'm going to go over some things to consider before choosing a dog. And I've had many different dogs and worked as a vet or with a vet. So one of the first things you should consider is the time and money that it takes to care for a dog. You also need to consider the amount of space that you have to let the dog roam, the amount of yard space, and the amount of space in your house. And then also consider the personality that the breed has and the specific dog has. So first, decide whether or not you have enough time and you have enough money to afford the dog that you're considering. Dogs with long hair often require more baths, more brushing, and more trips to the groomers, which can be very costly. Most dogs shed a little, but some dogs shed quite a bit. The AKC, which is the American Kennel Club, and there was no date on the article, but they suggest deciding how much hair you're willing to put up with before choosing a dog. Dogs with a thin coat often need extra protection from the sun and from the cold. Second, consider how much space you have for the dog. A dog with high energy needs a lot of room in a yard to run and play. Even small dogs need ample amount of space. The AKC, again, there's no date on the article, says remember that larger dogs require more food and space. Is your living room big enough to meet his needs? And keep in mind that some little dogs still need lots of room to run around and burn off energy. A dog needs its own area. Dogs like to spend time with their owners, but they often need a place where they can go to be alone. And you need enough space to provide that for them. Lastly, determine whether or not the personality of the dog is a good fit for your family. Often a large dog would prefer an active family because large dogs need a lot of exercise, they have a lot of extra energy to burn. Small dogs can sometimes get hurt when there's young children in the house. Young children are somewhat clumsy and can hurt or can fall on a dog and really hurt them. You should also consider whether the dog has a patient nature or a high-strung nature. It just depends on the breed and the dog. So to conclude, you need to make sure you have time and money for the maintenance of the dog, enough space for the dog to roam around, and make sure that the dog has a personality that will match your family's. Any dog can be trained with a little bit of work, but do your research before choosing a dog. Cesar Millan, in an article in CNN in March 2012, said it best by saying, "I always suggest to people to be logical with the adoption because you get to understand the compatibility and what energy you are bringing home."